Welcome, welcome, welcome everyone. Sorry for the delay, had to restart the computer and we'll get started. Let's start sharing screen. So it's Monday, 22nd of June. And let's have a look at Forex Factory. We've got Canadian dollar news at 4 p.m. UK time. So not for a little while, so there's nothing affecting us at the moment. So let's, have I got anything open up here? That was the Euro NZD that I had to, one of them I had to redraw. My trading view just suddenly glitched as well. So I've just drawn this morning because I didn't do them over the weekend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 scans on, and this one, EN. Oh, that was an 30-minute one that I hadn't noticed that Brian had, and that's now dropped down there. So nothing on EN for us. It's just coming into another scan. If it's going to do that, I don't know. I'll come back in. Oh, that is that scan up there. So that is from way back. Oh, 29th of May, that one. And that was, if anybody wants any of these old scans, let me know. 190 pips, that one. So it's just coming down to the extension of that. That's this one here. I don't know why my green has gone off a bit. That's better. And a very strong downward momentum on the 62 EMA there. So nothing on EN. I'll close that down and hopefully my trading will behave itself. Had EURAUD open as well. You see it's slow, sorry. Let's try AN. This is what it was doing to me this morning, my trading view. I may have to come out and start again. That's why I did save them also in case it glitched. It didn't lose anything again. Let's open it up again. Go back to the one we were talking about, Euro, Australian dollar. That's it, that's opening up okay now. Oh, that's a bit interesting. So it looks like it's turning round, although it's underneath the 1 minute trend, the 62. And it's just in this little price trap, this little wedge between the outer extension of this latest pitchfork and quarter theory. So if that does come above the 62, put a long position on, see what that looks like. But you wouldn't want to get in it until it has, and it's a fast moving pair, so put a bit more on that one. So the only thing I don't like about these trades is, do you know if it's, you've got to make sure it really is turning, and it, it needs to get above both those key levels there before we do anything with it. So we'll just put an alert on that. Right, okay. Let's have a look at where that scan is. So that's one of these ones we drew up from Brian. Lot 17th of June. And that is a scan of, oh yeah, that's the one that's about 350 pips, isn't it? Big scan.
The current GU one is also 350 pips as well.
Oh, maybe that was the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, that's the one where the D point keeps moving over like the last several days.
Yes, yeah, I saw your post on that. Look at that huge gap there. If you held a trade over the weekend, I measured one of them this morning. It was about 60 pips. That's 30 pips. That's why I don't like being in trades over the weekend. So that's got 125 pips between each pitchfork leg, which means you can also take a trade up here at the quarter theory if you want to. So I'll just leave that one at the moment because we've put the alert on. And if anyone's listening in at work, then the alert's on at 1.63000, which is the quarter theory line, because at the moment it's in a little wedge of cheese between the quarter theory and the inner fibonacci of the extensions, but it's still under the 62 EMA. Let's go over to GU then. Let's close down Euro NZD. GU, Great British Pound, US dollar.
Sarah, may I ask a question on this scan?
Yeah, of course. No, please do.
I tried to draw it on Friday after we looked at your session. And so I have drawn it, but it will not let me go back to the 27th of May to put that point on accurately.
What, when you're on the 1 minute?
Yes.
It's because TradingView only lets you go back 2 weeks. Right. So do what you can on the 1 minute, like the D and the C or DC and B
I've got them all except the X.
And then go to the 5 minute.
Okay.
That's why it's a TradingView timestamp thing.
Okay, that's lovely. Thank you very much.
And if that ever happens that you're drawing one of Chance's really old ones, then sometimes you even have to go to the 15 minute or something, Depends how big it is and how far back it is.
Yeah, okay, that's lovely. Thank you.
You're welcome. So here's this big GU one that Brian's on about. It's 350 pips as well. There's that D point. So it didn't do any break and retest. It's just gone straight up above the, followed the 62 EMA, the 1 minute trend all the way up, hit the quarter theory perfectly, come back down as Tokyo's ended, stalled out a bit, and then fake out before the beginning of London, and then done another sort of 50, 100 pip move, 60 pips as London opened, and come back down. But notice that the 62, the orange line, did not actually cross the 15 minute one. It's curled round and gone back. So it's still in its upward trend. Now I'd marked to have a look at it up here at, in case anyone's listening on the phone, 1.24500, where quarter theory is meeting a pitchfork.
It looks like he could have bagged about 25 pips on that big upward thing right at the quarter theory there, about a
What,
little
just
to the
now?
left. No, like an hour ago.
Well, oh, this here. Yeah.
No, further left.
Here.
That one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a nice move, isn't it? I'm not always myself very keen on going in on those quarter theory ones, because if you'd put, you couldn't.
Well, if you throw the trend from the bottom, from the bottom peak there, where it rejected off the 15-minute EMA to
like that.
A little to the peak just below quarter theory on the next high. Yeah, move your whole thing upwards on an angle at about 20 degrees. No, the next low over to the left.
Oh, okay.
Where you got the three rejections
there.
off the 15-minute EMA.
There.
No, the other way.
Oh, sorry.
Over there.
Like that.
Yeah, right there. In that area.
Yeah. Yeah. So interestingly, that the slippage down is round about your hourly candle as Tokyo comes into London, which is why don't be fooled thinking, oh, it's going the other way, it's coming back on me, it's going down, because it's just that slippage caused by the fake out on the hour. So yeah, comes up and then shoots straight up, staying well above the 62. So that would have given you,
so what's that, 25 pips, somewhere around there?
Yeah, 32. $25. My computer's a bit slow. Yeah, you've got about your 25, haven't you?
Not a bad way to start our Monday.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that would have been very nice. So what have we got happening now? Is that a similar angle? It's been even steeper. It's just tested the 62. That's your crossover there. And that's working its way up there. I'll leave that as a trend line. Okay, let's get rid of that one. So if you did do a quarter theory trade, I was looking to see if there was a fib on this, but you're just slightly off that quarter theory in 62 now, but technically you are above the 62, you're above quarter theory, so you just need to see if you've got a third confirmation if you wanted to get in this for a trade up to that next level. And there you have perfect rejections off the 78.6 stall out all along there. So that's a nice entry if I pull that one down.
Gee, what is that, about 12 rejections off the 78.6?
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Let's just put a magnifier on that. Yeah, that's let's measure that. 35 minutes of rejections off that 78.6.
Gee, that would make Chance smile.
Yeah. Yeah, I've managed to, I didn't catch up with all his entry and exits calls, but I did do the psychology call over the weekend, as well as Bob Proctor's one, which was very good. Yeah, so you've got an entry here at 1.24041, and then that should be going up to that level at 45 pips at 1.24500, which is the next quarter theory. That's what you're looking to try and get it to, with a stop loss of 1.23890, something like that. Uh, 3035. So what we often find in this session is things kind of sludge along a bit before they then carry on their merry way. And it is slipping down through a little bit at the moment. But you've got your three confirmations. You had it above the 62, had the break and the retest of quarter theory. So it was above the trend line, and all those rejections off that 78.6. So your take profit, sorry, I should have drawn it like Chance does. Take profit at the 0 line is there. That's one. That's a zone 2 because it's a pitchfork and quarter theory. And then somewhere around about here, 61.8 is 1.24768. Is that take profit 3, take profit 2 at the quarter theory at 1.24500, and take profit 1 at that 0%, which is 1.24340. So that's a nice one. Thank you for that, Brian. It being Monday and all. Okay, so let's go and look at something else.
Sarah, it's Jason here.
Hi, Jason.
Good morning. Yeah.
Morning.
Are you putting in a buy limit for this, or you're just going to?
We never do pending orders on this strategy. It's just
right, you're just doing at the market.
It doesn't mean to say you can't. Yeah, we always do market execution. So,
are you doing that right now, or you're waiting for it to hit a certain?
I'm not doing, and I'm personally speaking, I'm not doing anything right now. Myself.
But that trade is good to go at where she put it.
The trade is good to go. That's all I'm saying. It's if you want it as a trade, it fulfills our confirmations. Brian hasn't screamed at me, no, Sarah, don't do it.
Then it must be okay.
well, it must be, but you can see it's dropping through quarter theory. It could be coming down here to test this 15-minute line. So this is the if you want to call it a problem, this is the problem with quarter theory trades, because you haven't got more than one barrier taking you out. But I can only tell you we've got an accurate fib with half an hour's worth of rejections. We've got it, the break and the retest of the quarter theory. We've got it above the 62 and the 1-minute trend line. It's giving us our confirmations for the buy, and it's off that D point on a new scan. So, it's got everything there. But it, it could be, you might want a little bit bigger of a stop loss to take you a few pips. And that's something I don't generally like doing, because it's coming right down to that 15-minute now at the moment.
Yeah, might wait till it maybe heads back the other way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can't, when you get set up, it's never a good idea, is it? Just to rush straight in, fools rush in where angels fear to tread and all that. Because we could see when we were discussing it that it was just curling, going sideways. And sometimes we do get that sludginess, don't we, in this session just before New York takes off at 2 o'clock UK time, between 2 and 4.
Hey, we're also at the 61.8 fib there too, right?
Oh, yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, well spotted. Okay, so that's GU. Let's look at something else. We'll have a look at some of the US pairs, as we sometimes haven't been able to look at those as there's been news on. So this is Canadian dollar, Japanese yen, CAD JPY. And this was a scan I wouldn't have found. Brian put it in the group. I think was that an FX choice? Oh, H4, it's a 4-hourly one. So
No, I found it
Kathy.
before that, and then Kathy found it again on an H4 because the D point moved on it.
You found it on an H1, did you?
Yeah, I got it on an H1 or an M30.
So I drew mine on the 4-hourly, but that doesn't mean to say you can't go down to the 1 minute and take your trades down there anyway. Look at all that stall out there. That was all over Asian session. Sorry, the close of markets through to the open of Asian. We've got the orange has crossed above the blue, to use a technical term. It's coming into the inner extensions now. So we just put a trend line on this from I quite like the look of that. Ignore that bit of slippage down to the 15-minute one. You just have to put them where you feel, where your gut feeling tells you. Sometimes you can make them steeper or wider. So I think I quite like, don't know, I can't quite make my mind up on that one. Probably, I think I'm going to go for, that's just touched down there with a wick. So I'm going to go for that on the trend line. I put my alert up there, so I'm going to take that off. Remove the alert. One less line for us to look at. So we've got the orange above the blue for a buy. We've got it just coming up. You wouldn't want to get into it until it comes above 78.780, something like that. That will give you 20 pips up to the next quarter theory, 10 pips stop loss. So we could try the fib on this as well from that point there to there, and that gives us, that's giving us the 60 lovely little rejections. Again, same sort of thing, isn't it, Brown? Along the 61.8 there. And that's stalled out on there for nearly half an hour as well. Just magnify it for you. So there's your fib, low to high, past to present. And it's come back and hit that very nicely along there. So that gives you would give you take profits of, that must be about 10 pips at that 0% there. You've got a zone here at the 27 and quarter theory, and then that zone 3 is your pitchfork up there. So you'd have an entry at, in fact, I'd probably start to redraw that trend line if it does curl up. That would be what I would be doing with it, something like that. So we've got an entry at let me just do it like this on the settings. 78.804. A stop loss of 78.704, round about there, and a take profit at 79.004, which, or 79.000 is the quarter theory. So, but your take profit one at the 0% is coming in at 7 pips, so not very big, 78.876. So that's CAD JPY. What's next on the list? USD JPY. Let's have a look at that one. There's the D point down here, bottom left, that little pink blob down there. Here's the pitchfork. I've got it marked up there and it's not doing anything at the moment. So I've got it marked to look at where that pitchfork crosses quarter theory. I was going to wait for that alert to go off at 1.107.000. That's the quarter theory line. And it's moving quite slowly at the moment. There's your trend. What time is that? 23. It's close of London, close of markets. So nothing doing on that. And let's have a look at something else. Have a look at GA, Great British Pound, Australian dollar, crazy pair.
Hello.
Hello.
Sorry I'm late to the party.
Oh, well, you and me both. You're in good company. I was 20 minutes late myself. I'm sorry. I know, a few technical hitches. Shay, Sarah today. So this is, no, it's nice to see you. This pitchfork is 53, and that's from, this was another new one, I think. That's from, oh, 18th of June. So we'll go back to EA. Well, I don't quite know why that's gone off now. Ignore that. It's not doing anything we want it to do at the moment. So GA is coming down into this wedge between the pitchfork and the quarter theory. So the orange is under the blue for a sell. It's doing a break and a retest of the pitchfork now of 13 pips. So you've got a second confirmation there. So you just need a third confirmation. The only problem you've got is that wall of, but we do need a third confirmation. So you've got the quarter theory, just about at 20 pips there.
You got a 1 minute downtrend forming here.
Okay, let's put that on then. That looks nice. And as we're coming up to the hour, we don't want to get in this side of the hour. Just let it get through the hour. And it is a very fast pair as well. So it doesn't seem to have actually moved a huge amount, does it? I suppose it's Monday. Because your 15-minute EMA is right up here. And you can see back here, it went through the quarter theory and wicked off it to retest it. So I get a bit wary of these fast pairs because look, even over here, it went right up through the 15-minute there. So, and as I say, GA is a very fast pair. Let's just see what the hull says. I'm quite happy to stay on a bit longer, but if people want to, I probably will because I'll be doing it anyway. If people are hopping off to go on another session, that's absolutely fine because I don't want to be rude and, you know, run into people's other session. But some people I know just doing pitchforks, so I'll stay on for 15 minutes as I was late. So that hull has turned red on the 15-minute at the moment, which is a good sign if it stays like that, but as I say, it's just could be faking out. And you've also got a very thin old pitchfork running just above the quarter theory at the 20 pips at about 5 pips away, 5 or 6 pips away from that. So, and that's an outer extension. So just make sure it doesn't turn on you there, like Brian had this morning on his GU. So that's GA at the moment.
It was UCAD, by the way, but anyways.
Oh, sorry, UCAD, sorry. Let's have a look at what's happening on UCAD then. That was another new scan, wasn't it? Did I draw that one this morning? Yes, a new hourly one with the D point on the 22nd. Yeah, now this may have been when I had the problem on my trading view this morning because I'd drawn them all and it's not saved it, which is an extremely annoying nuisance. So as it's Monday, I'll just quickly draw it back on if I may. Turn that to green.
I can share my screen. I got it here.
Okay, that would be good. Thank you. I'll catch up with mine later. Brian can talk us through this one. Make co-host. Thanks, Brian. That should be working.
Alrighty, so here's the UCAD current scan. I got in right over here off of the pitchfork below the 62 EMA and 1 minute trend that I drew. And it was going rather swimmingly until it bounced, wicked right off of this old pitchfork here, and then it shot all the way back over here. And now it's sort of working its way back down.
So why didn't you get out? It's not a right or a wrong. Why didn't you get out at the 20 pips? Because you're trying to swing it further down.
No, not that I didn't try and swing it down. I did get out at the 20 because it was my first trade of the week, and I always like the psychological win. But you know, if you go by
that's perfect then.
Yeah, if you go by the standard rule book or whatever, I had no reason to exit because I didn't have 3 confirmations to get out.
Well, do you need 3 confirmations to get out?
Well, yeah. If you go by the confirmation checklist, you need 3 reasons to get out.
No, you don't. With your 2 flips on the hull, or your daily trade goal is hit at 25 pips, or your trade goal is hit at 20 pips.
Yeah, so that's 2, and then I got an old pitchfork here, so that's I'd still
Yeah,
need
but
a
we
third.
we don't have to have 3. We only have 1 on an exit.
Well, okay, but I'm just going by what Chance mentioned on the last.
Oh, he's saying 3, is he?
Yeah, he's saying 3. He says, because the last time I said, I exited at a quarter theory rejection or whatever, and he said, well, I have no idea why you chose to get out there, because if you go by the rule book, it says Chance. Don't you need 3 reasons to get out of a trade? But in my opinion, when it comes to getting to your daily and your trade goal, I would call it one and done.
Well, I agree. I don't use 3 to get out. I don't get it. I don't use quarter theory to get out.
Oh, you don't?
No, because normally, if I'm in a trade, that's usually kind of a stacking level.
Well, actually, patience does wait out, because I'm more or less back down.
Yeah,
it's back down
really
to where it was.
doubling down now.
Yeah, it's back down to the 20 pip mark. So it's
heading down to that next pitchfork, isn't it?
Well, it's heading down to this old pitchfork right here, and then you got this one down here.
And the orange, the 62, is still pointing down.
Correct.
So
so it all depends, if you chose to stay in, whether or not you could take. A lot of people would have got stop profited out at their 10 pips. Right around here somewhere when it pulled all the way back to the 62 EMA over here.
Yeah.
Because nobody would have, unless you're
that's a lot to give up. I'm not very good at giving up that many pips.
Yeah, see that's a massive amount of pips to give up. You're only maybe 4 or 5 pips in profit over here.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many people could sit and wait that long, but now here we're at my old pitchfork. And
yeah.
We can sit and see what it does. We got another candle coming up here in a second. So it wicked that pitchfork, and now it's on its way back up again.
Yeah.
So that's the trade I found this morning.
No, my confirmations to get out of a trade are the percentages on the fib that we just looked at. So 0 for a 1, 20 minus 27 for the take profit 2, and the 61.8 for the take profit 3. 20 pips or 25 pips, or I'm trying to stretch it to the next level. That's it. That's how I've always looked at it.
But looky here, what do we have here in the shape of the candles?
Oh, yeah. We've
got our buddy.
We've got our buddy Bart.
We got our buddy Bart Simpson again. I see it everywhere. It's haunting. I mean, here's another one right there.
Yeah.
It's freaky.
This is what Oren Wright says. M's and W's have bought me a BMW, because these are the classic M's, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Yeah, and there's your rejection off that pitchfork at the bottom. So it's
so there you
done
go.
it again now.
Yeah, so you got old ones that come back to haunt you or give you love. Take your pick, right?
Yeah. So that's rejected that old pitchfork twice there now.
They're not old. They're not older models of BMW, are they?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, the old ones run just as well as the new ones if you properly maintain them. But in my theory or whatever, these I've only been doing this for about 3 weeks a month now. So this pitchfork technically isn't old by Chance's standard. I don't have any that are more than a month old. Unlike him, where he's got some that are 300 or 400 days old, if not longer.
Yeah. Okay. Have you got anything else you want to show us, or do you want to
No,
stay
that's all I found this morning thus far. But other than the fact
It's a
that
nice
I
move.
posted pictures of the four scans that I drew last night, I have a slight unfair advantage that the start of market is only like 5 o'clock in the evening for me on a Sunday, so it's
yeah.
easy for me to check the scanner.
Yeah, as I say, I had a lot of catching up to do this morning. And then, as you saw, TradingView didn't save all of mine.
I can see something in, oh, you've got it there in chat from Matthew showing where he got in UCAD.
Oh, he's got a UCAD this
Oh,
morning.
do you want to do that one, Brian, as you've got your head round it? Do you want to open up his TradingView? That would be nice to look at that.
It's just a link in the chat, Brian.
Yeah, I see that. Hold on a second. I need to share my screen again. Where is my share screen?
That green blob at the bottom.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, so this is the one that got posted here. So he got in.
That's a good entry. Similar to you, isn't it?
What time would that be?
Right at the start of the prediction, he's put in the chat.
He's got
I
it
don't
there,
know.
just where the red meets the green, and just below the 62 and the rejection off the pitchfork.
Yeah, so this is his pitchfork here, I take it. Yeah. So that looks pretty much where I got in.
Yeah.
Or close to it. So
very good.
I guess we pretty much saw the same thing because there's my BART.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah, so this is
entry.
probably where his pitchfork is. There's a rejection off an extension. So this is my old pitchfork that I got rejected off of.
He says he says it's an older pitchfork in the same direction, but a little bit later than Brian's.
Right, but yeah, so he didn't enter off the pitchfork that I did, the most recent one, but he's got an old extension right at where I had an old pitchfork.
Okay. Yeah.
Where it rejected off of these 2 points.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that looks, you can't
My
complain
entry
on
was
that one.
after his bounce to the upside.
Yeah, that would be right here. But the only thing that he didn't draw.
No, he says his entry, Brian. So that he means after that green candle up there, after the bounce to the upside. So on that red candle coming down.
Oh, he came in over here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. The only thing is he didn't necessarily draw his 1 minute trend. I know it's a technicality, but when you go to that
trend line was for a higher time frame within a channel that topped out.
Oh, okay. So it just doesn't show on this particular screenshot, which is perfectly fine.
Yeah. Yeah. But, see, I never do channel trading. I've never really.
Well, all the channel is just two parallel trend lines, right?
Yeah, I know, but every time I draw them on, I don't like it. I just don't trade with them. I know Samantha likes them a lot.
It's whatever you're used to, right?
Yeah.
I find trend line. My most common entry is pitchfork 62 EMA and a 1 minute trend.
Me too. Exactly.
Is the one I find most often.
Yeah.
And then every once in a while, I'll get the four of them. I'll get pitchfork quarter theory, 1 minute trend, and 62 EMA all to line up for either a buy or a sell.
That's like all your Christmases have come at once when you get that. I love that. Mm-hmm.
And then the only thing one better would that be is if you got it off of off the D leg of a pitchfork. That would be like hitting the lottery. That would be 5.
Oh, he's just sent us another trading view if you want to open it up. Well, or catching the 88.6 fib reversal. So you've got the long leg extension to get the home run. That's my favorite.
Yeah. There you go.
This is from the 15-minute chart.
Can you give a list of those again? Pitchfork, EMA.
1 minute trend are the 3 most common I get. The next most common is I have all 4. So it's those 3 plus quarter theory. And then I would call the home run if you get those 4 and your pitchfork is the D leg. And then after that, Sarah can go for the grand slam. I didn't catch that one.
Well, that's when you get the 88.6 fib reversal, which gives you that long extension on the Elliott wave.
Oh, there you go.
When Chance has drawn the Elliott wave,
Yeah.
So when he loves the 8, that's why he likes the 88.6, because that gives you the home run, as he calls it. That's the long leg.
So if you get an 88.6 rejection, that's the start of the third leg usually.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Always.
I'll have to start playing around with fibs a little bit.
Yeah, it's just beautiful when you're in one of them.
Cool.
He says thanks for your help and for the chat, by the way.
All right, so we'll call that one here.
Andrew, have you seen the confirmation checklist that Sarah's got?
No.
Oh, that might be useful. I think it's in the Ninja Forex group, I think, under the files, if not under the units.
Fine.
Yeah, I think she just uploaded that recently in the last couple of days.
Well, no, there was a new one that I keep meaning to upload, which had the exits on it. My old one didn't have the exit line on it.
It's really good. It's a tick box thing, so you just tick.
Yeah.
Have I got this? Have I got this? Have I got this? So it just reminds you of the things to look for.
Yeah. I've got to think remember where mine is. Let me look, see if I can find it.
I think I saw it. Was it in the files section?
I can't remember now where I've put it.
Well, Matthew says he has the checklist.
Yeah, I have it somewhere also too.
Yeah, I have it too. I think Sarah's, if you can't find it there, if you go to the Pip Talk for Chance and Samantha, you'll find a link for it. They post it regularly.
Yeah, they're on page 2 of Pip Talk.
You can print it out and keep it right next to you. Go through it.
It's in your files section in the Ninja Ninja Forex Traders DreamWorks, and that's the latest one. Well, that's the one.
Oh, good. That's what I wanted. The one that's got the exit line on it.
Yeah. So are you in that group, Andrew? Or
Of course.
Yeah. So you should be able to pick that up from the files.
But a lot of people have a different place where they place things. You've got to be, if you want to find something, you've got to be determined to find it sometimes, because they're putting it in very strange places, and the vast majority of people aren't actually finding it because it's not in a logical place. So if you've got your own unit, obviously that's the best place, or clearly labelled in the file section.
It's called trade sheet V2 letter.
Well, that's really obvious.
There is a confirmation.
That's not very descriptive of actually what it is it?
There is another one called Harmonic Pitchfork Confirmation Checklist. This is from Chance and Samantha, so
that doesn't describe it either.
What
about pitchfork?
No, the Harmonic Pitchfork Confirmation Checklist is another checklist for actually drawing the pitchforks, which ones to draw, etc., which scans to draw. So it is a bit confusing, but Sarah's just kept the same file names that Chance and Samantha have, I guess, and it's just how it's grown over time, I guess. But anyway,
I wouldn't dream of changing a being so presumptuous as to change anything Chance and Samantha had named, in case
just make it confusing if they overwrite
if they ever mentioned it.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Right. So I've just drawn back on my USD CAD scan that TradingView didn't save when I had to close it all down this morning. Is there any other pair or anything? I haven't had any alerts go off while we've been talking. I could just look at, I've just finished putting my EN scan on. Sorry, USD CAD one. And I'd just like to sometimes finish looking at the faster pairs. GCAD I'd quite like to look at before we go. Right, I've just drawn that on. Let me just lock that on. Do you want to stop sharing, Brian, and I'll just have a look at the last...
go. I did stop sharing, so you can go ahead.
Right, thank you very much. Just lock on my pitchfork lock and find here we are. Share screen.
Sarah, I have to go. Thank you very much, both of you. I'll see
Oh,
you
you're
tomorrow.
welcome. Sorry I was late today.
No, don't worry. Thank you. Bye.
And
Bye,
me too.
bye.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Sarah. I'm
yeah,
going to have to go.
bye.
Cheers.
Yeah,
Bye.
bye. Right, just put that USD CAD one on. There. So it's just carrying on working its way down at the moment then. Quite nicely. All those rejections off the D point up there. Rejected along quarter theory. The orange crossed. Price went under. Big spike up there at 8 o'clock. Fake out before London. It followed the 62 down. Perfect rejections off the pitchfork. Now coming back down to this level at 1.35, 500. And I wanted to look at GCAD, and then we'll go. GCAD. Are you looking at anything else at the moment, Brian?
No, that's all the things that I looked at before this session started here. So I haven't really done much anything else at the moment.
So this scan is from, oh, look at all that stall out there. So it's, I've got that marked up there. This pink one, which is from way back when.
I continually find it amazing is how long pitchforks are valid for.
Well, this is why it's such a, it's the, as you know, his elevator pitch, the highest ROI and lowest risk to reward, because they've got the Fibonacci built in. So not only can you just click them on and off, but if the harmonic scanner's down, if Vibrata's down,
You still got places to trade.
You've always got to trade, because not only can you take about 13, 14 trades just off the one scan, but they are valid forever, as he says. He always says forever once they're drawn on. I mean, obviously you have to check that they have still maintained, they haven't glitched, like you check that the price is touching, you know, it is respecting the pitchfork. So that D point's from the 1st of May.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I love about them, because you could be anywhere in the world. It's global, any time of day or night. You've got to trade using this strategy.
The only challenge though is if you showed somebody, go back to your last screen here before you zoomed in, or go back to a higher time frame. And yeah, so if you showed somebody that screen there or whatever, and they didn't know what was going on, their head would explode.
Well, my head often explodes looking at it.
I mean, look at that.
Well, I know, but you know, it is a bit messy. I do agree with you, because
you know,
normally when Chance is teaching us, he doesn't have it looking like this, because it's because I've got everything all on one, so I will fade out, because I don't want to be confused either.
Yeah, I do that too. I mean, I dim out all my old ones.
Because normally we'd be working in this white one, but price has decided to drop. The Great British Pound has dropped through the floor at the moment, which must be Brexit or COVID. So And then we've got this green one here. Ignore that, sorry. And I'll just come down to the 1 minute. So it's in that pink scan, pink pitchfork. And the orange has crossed above the blue and it's coming up to the next quarter theory.
Look at that spike down to the second quarter theory there.
Yeah. That's amazing. That must have been news, surely.
Probably was. It was right in New York session too.
So for GCAD, which is a very fast pair, that is a very broad, very shallow trend line, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because normally it's a very fast pair, so that's a bit weird. And I've cut off all those bits like that, so I've got the touches. So not. And then put that on. So it's a bit far off now. There's no entry on anything here at the moment, really.
Nope. Cool beans. So if that's, we should probably wrap it up at this point here.
Yeah. I'll stop sharing. So sorry I was a bit late anyway today. So thanks very much for joining, everyone. I hope that was helpful, and thank you, Brian, for your valuable input as ever. Much appreciated, and Matthew for sharing charts. It's really great to see. So we'll see you all tomorrow.
Yeah,
All right.
thanks again.
Have a good one.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Bye.
See you, Brian.
Bye.